BTC and 32E.
Welcome back, hard forkers, to 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum with my co-host Stefano and Mr. Gonzo.
What up?
All good. Market's tanking. What's going on? We'll try and put a bit of sense around it for everybody today. Look at a few news stories for you, give you a bit of an update on the play to earn space. So first, guys, let's have a quick look at the market here and see if we can figure out what the hell's going on. Here we are on a 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Just broken a key support level there, guys, at 35.4, and we're heading down fast. Are you panicking?
I'm panicking at this chart. Not because it says something bad, but because it's giving me like Jackson Pollock vibes or something.
It's pretty busy. But yeah,
So
I mean, as you can see down here, we've had a number of touch points on that support line at what was 35.4, where we broke down through that about an hour ago. I thought I was being clever entering back into the market. I picked up some matic, some Sol, and I've lost 5% on those immediately. How are you guys feeling about your portfolios? We touched on matic a bit earlier. Thoughts around that, guys? Layer 2s, we've got the London hard fork coming up in a few weeks, which doesn't necessarily scale Ethereum. It's really all about the fees, but we're seeing some pretty exponential growth in Layer 2. Is it part of either of your portfolios?
Matic is not part of my portfolio, but I'm the odd man out here because both you guys are holding strong, right?
I mean, I just re-entered. I had sold it at a very nice profit, but I just rebought it, and I'm down 5% immediately. But
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it yesterday? The gas was like 10 and 12 guai yesterday. What was going on there? I mean, if it stays like that, how long before the layer 2 is, not needed?
It's never going to happen. The reason why the 10 and 12 is down is because the layer 2 are happening. Look at.
But why would they switch if they can just stay on ETH?
No, but the thing is that like it is down now because the vast majority of the migration is happening. So you got things like, take Sushi for example. Mm-hmm. Sushi has more on the Polygon version. Now, the Polygon version of Sushi has flipped the mainnet, the Ethereum mainnet version of Sushi. So the Polygon version is bigger than the Ethereum version of Sushi. The reason why Ethereum is having low gas is because the vast majority of the action of the transactions are now happening on Polygon. Now, if you have a new project, would you actually like enter Ethereum first instead of like going on layer 2? Yes, you could do that right now because actually the gas is fairly low. But the only reason why the gas is low is because everything has happened. The migration has happened on layer 2s, on rollups, on side chains, on all of those things. As long as you don't have the scalability on Ethereum, that problem is always going to be there. Ethereum is still handling 15 transactions per second. If it becomes like too used, we're going back on the ghost of 100, 600, 700 way per transfer and so on. I think that this just showed that the model works with the side chains and the layer 2s.
Yep, strongly agree. I actually added some loop ring to my portfolio over the weekend as well. So
Sean has bought everything in the past hour.
Well, exactly. Yes. I thought I was getting a really good entry there. But look, they're projects that I believe in anyway. So, for me, I sold out of matic above $2 and bought back in an hour ago. I think it's a great project. As you say, we were talking about the metrics before. It's just, I mean, what have we got on there now in total lock value?
I think, between Av and Sushi alone, like, I think that we pass easily like 10 billions in value locked on Polygon.
Yeah.
Which, yes, it's true. It's not Ethereum. Let's be honest. We're nowhere at those levels. But when we're looking at like what there is on that category, Binance Smart Chain, Cardano, Polkadot, I'm kind of like going in order what it's available on that does kind of like that storyline and so on. Solana as well is above. Like, you know, Polygon in terms of numbers win against all of those. Is it overvalued? Is it undervalued? That's a completely different story. But if you're looking at the usage, the usability, Polygon is currently the most used layer 2 that there is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the rhetoric seems to be at the moment, come out of low cap alts and into those, pretty much all the ones you just mentioned. And I agree with you. I think of the ones you just mentioned there, Solana, Dot, etc. Yeah, matic is the front runner for me for sure. I think people are confused there, but you're right. It is a part of that Ethereum ecosystem. It is how Ethereum is scaling at this point. So yeah, that's a main hold for me. Let's have should we have a quick look at some news stories here, guys, and see if we can maybe make some sense of why this market may have crashed here. Hot off the press today, Donald Trump basically calling crypto a scam, or seems like a scam. Even better, it means he doesn't understand it. So, but
Who?
sure, Donald Trump.
Who? What relevance does this fucking guy have?
Probably not a lot anymore, and maybe for the current political party there, they may take the opposite stance than him. But really, guys, I think obviously this is quite clearly off the back of El Salvador is proposing a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. Their current currency is called the colon, brilliantly. But primarily the US dollar is used in their country. I think anyone that's been to countries in Central South America, Caribbean is fully aware that the US dollar is the main currency used both there and in a multitude of countries. So I do wonder whether this move may have sparked the likes of Donald Trump, and I'm sure plenty of other people to sit up and take notice here. What are your thoughts around this, guys? Because clearly, I think the US does not want to see the greenback lose its global dominance. Do you think Trump's comments are clearly related to this? Thoughts?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to do anything to lose dominance. Well, they're making the US dollar lose dominance themselves by printing billions and billions and billions of dollars without any recourse. Just print it, keep printing. They're wrecking their economy. They're making the people even lazier, right? Like nobody wants to go back to work because they can just get free shit all the time. Who wants to work? Just sit around, get free money. I mean, they're devaluing their own currency, and now they're, flooding against anything else that's not in line with the US financial policy. And then, just look at them back to back. You have this country that's been impressed by the American fiscal policy, right? And they step up and say, hey, we're going to use Bitcoin that the Americans have absolutely zero control over. Of course, you're going to get an American cheerleader stepping up and saying, yeah, US dollar, Bitcoin seems like a scam. I haven't done my research or anything. I don't know shit, but it seems like a scam.
Well, I mean, Bitcoin isn't actually a currency, so I'm surprised that's sort of lost on him there a wee bit. It is effectively digital gold. I'd argue the things happening around Ethereum and DeFi are probably much more likely to act as currencies moving forward than Bitcoin. I mean, Stefano, sort of big macro picture there. What are your thoughts around those two news articles?
No, to be honest, I don't know if there is a real correlation or not between the two things. So El Salvador moving on having Bitcoin as a legal tender, it's a cool news, yes, but I think that people are actually forgetting a few things. We did that in 2017, countries that have done that as well. And we did have countries that have done that and then as banned that same model. Now I don't remember exactly on what happened specifically and so on, but take for example what happened in 2017 with the Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands were super pro ICOs, super pro blockchain and cryptos, and then like in a matter of a year, they completely flipped and they became like quite against that, and they took like a setback, and they had to like redevelop kind of like the entire model, their entire like jurisdictions, their entire like law and frameworks around basically like ICOs and cryptos and so on. I think that like there was a news back in the days that Japan was allowing you to like pay taxes in or payments or having like proper payments with Bitcoin, like back in the days and so on. Like now I do not remember specifically everything on the top of my head, but you know, this is like a country like there were many others. Now with all the respect, like don't take me wrong, or I'm really not trying to like discredit anything on what is happening, but it really looks just like a PR stunt to me. You know, El Salvador has been like a country that has had like many massive problems. It was like the top country in the world for the number of voluntary homicide in the world. They have completely changed the government to clean up things. They put like a young person that needs to actually like increase the brand and awareness and the reputation of the country. Let's be honest over here. How many countries before Bitcoin, how many people before Bitcoin became like a legal tender thought even of the existence of El Salvador as a country? How many people thought like, because there is like things that are coming in place on this. El Salvador now is actually passing entrepreneurship visas. For example, how many people thought about moving to El Salvador a week ago? Nobody. I never heard anything like this. But now that Bitcoin has passed this, that El Salvador has passed Bitcoin as a legal tender, even in my work now, I'm starting having emails from me like, do you set up businesses in El Salvador? I'm like, what? No. But nobody ever asks us anything like that. What are you talking about? I don't know anything about El Salvador. Nobody does. It's a PR stunt. Now, it's a good PR. It's a pro thing for blockchain, blah, blah, and so on. But come on, like, is this really the best that we have to offer once again? I'm starting having like a little bit of like, is this the debate? And then we have Donald Trump on the other side. They clearly pull a Donald Trump, just like, it seems like a scam. How many times Donald Trump says something? Donald Trump is the equivalent of like your old grandpa sitting at the family table that says something, you know, that has heard a word of something and goes automatically against that concept without really fully knowing or understanding and so on. It's a comment like, whenever did Donald Trump spoke about, once again, let's put things in perspective. When was the only time that Donald Trump said something about cryptos? Whenever did we see an headline from Donald Trump about cryptos, about an opinion on cryptos? Never. He says something now. How is this actually important? Are they connected? Maybe, perhaps. And even if they are, how many times did I say we do not live in planet USA? We really need to get to terms a little bit with the fact that now, because there was like the Miami conference, it seems that like everybody thinks that like the blockchain environment is in the US. And we have heard this a little bit too many times, to be honest. It is not. The US is not the core place where blockchain development is happening. And I'm sorry, they might have the VCs. Well, it's everywhere in the world. Portugal might actually be a better place than the US for a blockchain development point because they have Aave. Singapore might be a better hub. Hong Kong might be a better hub. Panama might be a better hub than the US. Why? Because the vast majority of the projects in the US are not even like the executing job in the US.
Slovenia, man.
Slovenia, Malta is still like a relevant place. Thailand and Bali, where the blockchain and cryptos is illegal, is probably a better crypto hub than the US. Like, we need to like look a little bit around like the noise and so on, because this is starting being like a little bit of like throw whatever things you can on the PR plot just because like, you know, whatever is a cool thing. now that we have like all of this conversation about like clean Bitcoin and not clean Bitcoin, like, come on, like it's really like a bland game, to be honest. I'm really getting like flat on not on commenting, obviously, because we're doing this and it's fair, but like on reading these type of things. Again, I'm nothing against El Salvador. I think that is absolutely amazing what they're doing. It's a good improvement, but it is a PR stunt. I don't think that they.
I see where you're coming from.
Hey, the president got laser eyes, so it can't be PR.
No, that's proving the point.
Yeah, look, I see where you're coming from. I mean, where I'm slightly surprised is, I've been saying for actually a couple of years now that, for me, sovereign funds, countries actually buying Bitcoin, as a reserve asset, as gold on their balance sheet, for me was a logical progression, especially as we go into the supposed Great Reset. So, for a country like El Salvador to maybe turn around and declare, okay, yes, we have it on our balance sheet, we hold it along with gold, etc. For me, that's where I thought we would see these type of stories. So I'm kind of surprised to see, when they talk in terms of legal tender, and we need to see how that actually looks, because at the moment we've got to remember it's only a proposed bill. So their government may turn around and completely squash that. We don't know. It's not law as yet.
Yeah, but even with that, but one thing on that, you got like rich countries, sovereign funds of Norway, and sovereign country of Singapore, both Bitcoin. You get half and a half countries. I think it was like Bulgaria, if I'm not mistaken, or
Bulgaria has a heap of Bitcoin, but that was confiscated from some gangsters. But I believe they've held on to it.
Well, anyway, but they had that, and then you get like countries that are like were completely destroyed by the economy, the inflation, their own politics, or the pact with the USD dollars and so on, like Venezuela, where the use of Bitcoin was not even relating to the government per se, but it was a vehicle to actually like survive and eat. Like, again, yes, it is important that El Salvador is moving in that direction. It is important that countries are moving in that direction. But it really seems to me that we're giving like a little bit like first country to put this. It seems like that El Salvador is like, man, revolutionary in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool thing. It's not like, oh my God, like, come on. There were many other countries before that actually like put their feet on the ground with these type of things.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I mean, so Singapore to a certain degree probably kept their ownership of it under wraps. I think a lot of us have known they've held it for a long time. But my understanding is that was only sort of fairly recently announced publicly, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's still done before El Salvador. Like that's my point on that. Even like it's towns in Italy has done ICOs to have like a double currencies that got destroyed by obviously and blocked by the European Union legislations. Like once again, innovation has been done in so many places. Again, it's a good thing that El Salvador is doing what it's doing. I'm super pro on this, but we need to put things in perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not like a revolution things like I don't get it why everybody's getting like this. Like so
I would suggest to Fano that maybe there's been so much FUD and what seems like very little good news for Bitcoin lately. I mean, we're seeing the price tanking again. That maybe people are grabbing on to anything positive they can.
How is it very little news app? I'm sorry, but really, people are absolutely stupid.
Stefano, you don't think that's a big thing? I mean, El Salvador has been oppressed by the American financial system for a long time. For them to like publicly step up and say that, like, I think that's pretty big, and it's really positive. And they're not saying that they're first, right? And they're not saying they're being innovative.
There are articles saying that they are the first, because I read them. They're literally the headlines. El Salvador, first country on putting Bitcoin legal tender. There are tweets on Twitter of actually saying the same thing, which is not, but that's okay.
Legal tender or the only legal tender?
I think it's legal tender.
Yeah.
If
So
it
I think it
becomes
would
the only legal
I
tender,
I think it would operate
in 2
alongside
seconds.
their currency, the US dollar and Bitcoin effectively.
If it's become the only one, they're gonna get invaded in 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, that's I don't think that's on the cards. I don't think that's on the cards. So
But
yeah, look, I agree with you. I think
Answering
it's
Jordan, I do think is a good news. Don't take me wrong. I really think is a good news. But I think that people are looking at the picture from the wrong side. This is a good thing for them. It's a good thing that the president is actually pushing it into that direction. It's a good thing that they're trying to improve things, because it's true, the country and the economy of the country was in troubles. But to all the people that are in crypto and considering this like, oh my God, this is the crypto is here to stay. They can't confiscate this. We're going to go to the moon, blah, 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 and all of that. No, it's not. This is nothing to do with that, or a tiny little portion of that. They're very, very different things. I'm seeing too much FOMO around this news, to be honest.
okay.
Because nobody cared about El Salvador a week ago.
But that's how news works, though. they announce something big, and then they start talking about it. It's just the reverse FUD. It's good. The timing is perfect, I think. Like Sean was saying, there's all this other bullshit going around.
Yeah.
That, a little bit of like hope is okay. Right.
I don't know. I think that if you're looking at the market right now, the market is super healthy. Sushi has flipped on Polygon, its mainnet, which means that there is usage and it's becoming common for people to go on layer 2, which means that the gas store is becoming less and less common. Axie has passed 100,000 daily active users. They're basically doubling in size in a matter of a month. They're actually now buying directly from Ronin 50 ETH per day, which means that they're bypassing the entire exchange part, the centralized exchange movement, the Ethereum part and everything, and they're going on that ecosystem on their own automatically. You got the liquidity pool on Aave that is still ongoing. You got projects like Real.co that does fractionalize real estate ownership, that has put their property number 100 on their platform. The space is absolutely growing in usability, in terms of everything. The only people that are now in the FUD mood, that are being oh my God, this is a tough moment and so on, are, as per usual, the people that cares about the price, the people that are trading, the people that don't have any understanding of what is happening, or that they're not spending time in the space. But if you're daily in the ecosystem, I'm sorry, but the space is absolutely healthy. It's awesome. We are in a moment on the market where it's beautiful. Things are working not better before. You want to use a bridge? Boom. Gas price at 10 way. You can jump cross-chain whatever you want. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I need El Salvador news to cheer me up. Are you kidding me?
Stefano, I completely agree with you. I said at the top of the show that, I think a lot of attention now has been placed on, at protocol level. I'm also really starting to look at this, these edge networks, these payment rails that are coming into the space now. I think that's the big next progression. In fact, I picked up a token called AMP for that reason over the weekend as well. Putting a bit of focus there, but yeah, it's on those main protocols, and you did right. Matic's been one of my biggest holds for a while now. You're right. This space is growing. It is moving forward. I think where
this
people
is not about holding something. This is really not about holding.
It's about using.
It's
about using
buying.
These things. It's about understanding.
Not that the point at all.
Yeah, totally. That for me, it's a video I did last week. It's about using these things now, understanding what they are, and if you are investing, that's where you invest, something you're actually using and you understand. I think a lot of people have been burnt on altcoins, and it feels like the world has ended. They're stuck in these things, and of course the altcoins make up the bulk of this market. The 7,000 tokens. Reality is
they realize that they're not genius anymore.
Precisely. Yeah. That's
reality. Slap them in the face.
That's the bitter pill to swallow, and it's hilarious to see some of the other channels out there who, have just been the most epic shillers of shitcoins completely pivot their positions recently, which I find almost criminal. But yeah, if you got
What do you guys
burnt,
think about this? The El Salvador thing, right? In that article, how many times did they mention Strike, right? By Zap, which is their payment rails thing. And if you look into the terms of service, and there's like restricted jurisdictions and all this kind of stuff, and you need KYC and you need a bank account. So there's something kind of weird.
Well, that's
there,
a guy called Jack
like,
Mallers. I mentioned him the other week. And in fact, I mentioned that he was down in Central America. I didn't know this was happening, but yeah, he's the guy that facilitated the sponsorship of the Bitcoin car at the Indianapolis 500 the other day. Sorry, what was your comment around that company? You got issues with it?
Well, no, but I mean, it's this. It's the connection of like, oh, Bitcoin, you know, for all this free and sovereign stuff, right? But then in that same article, they're pushing this Strike app, right? Which doesn't seem to be as like, you know, as Bitcoin as you're led to believe, right? Because there's all kinds of restrictions on it to use it. You need a bank account. You need to be in an unrestricted jurisdiction.
They're sort of the payment rails, as I say, those edge network solutions. So they're going to have to play by all the traditional financial rules. I mean, that's where we're getting that intersect of traditional finance and what's going on with blockchain. So
it just feels like another
always going to be KYC,
shill, right? So, you know, is it necessarily a Bitcoin shill now, or is it a Strike shill?
Well, as I say, that's a business that guy owns. You know, it's a payment rail for Bitcoin. You know, as I say, I've just bought AMP token. It's a very similar thing. You know, that is the next evolution for me, to be able to actually go on, you know, these companies that will facilitate the immediate settlement of whatever crypto you want to use. That's another evolution of this market. We're also seeing a lot of sort of traditional networking type solutions starting to mesh with these blockchain data structures. I agree with Stefano. I think this is really exciting times. You know, if you're in there actually using this stuff on the daily, that is what we're seeing. Seems like the end of the world because the altcoins have completely crashed, but you know, we're probably just not ready for a lot of those apps quite yet. You know, that infrastructure still is rolling out in many ways. You know, I think a lot of those will come back. It's just a shame a lot of people are probably going to have to sit in them now for quite a while. So, you know, that's your call if you are sitting in a lot of these, whether you do jump out now and move into, you know, some of the more protocol level or infrastructure based, or ride this out. You know, you probably will be okay in the future. But yeah, that's why the doom and gloom's there, because the shit coins have crashed. But I think I agree with Stefano. I think everything else is extremely healthy. On that note, Axie, I am getting some teams together. We'll be giving some of those away for my teams on Friday. You guys got an update for the community around Axie?
Still scaling up. 94 wallets.
Going for the Hundy.
Almost there.
Good.
Yeah, totally good. And then after that, we're just going to focus on making sure that everybody has the top possible team in the next month. And then from there, you know, we'll just roll over who graduates, onboard new scholars, grind it out. You know, the graduating scholars, they'll get their own team from playing to earn, playing to breed. So far, we've had Laura, Jesus, Sing. We've had 5 scholars now. 6 that have all had enough Axies to make their own teams, and 2 have left to start their own. And then there's been 4 that have kept the scholarships, and then they've given their own teams to their family members. So it's kind of neat the way that's working. So you're getting scholars already earning scholarship returns.
Very good. Stefano, any comments on our play to earn initiatives and the space in general?
No.
9 Chronicles. I still got to get my account set up. How's that going?
Because you're a terrible human being. No, I'm joking. Obviously,
I am a terrible human.
No, Nine Chronicles is going good. They've done like a nice update with a lot of like fixing things and so on. Basically, like they have add an extra way on the play to earn, where like when you're staking now, you got like your potions and your stuff, and you can sell them on the market as well, and you gain that by staking. So they're kind of like starting that migration point between like the POW and the POS, that you got like a bit and a bit, which is pretty cool. Few members of our communities are starting playing that and earning the token based on obviously what we're doing, that like we're giving away like those 50,000 Nine Chronicles gold every single month. So that's the kind of like the cool part on this. I've been helping some students or some players basically that were having problems to sell items, because obviously like the marketplace is a little bit like when you're getting started, obviously you don't really have nice items to sell, let's be honest. And you know, the starting entry price is 10 Nine Chronicles gold, which is very difficult to sell at that level. So in private, I texted them and I was like, look, I am the one buying the item, so you can complete the task and so on. So once again, this is really done to a way to like make that becoming a solid play to earn experience on top of like what else we're doing. Apart from that, I've been playing a lot of Sushi Vader, which is a mini game from Avagotchi, which is basically like a copycat of the old Space Invader from the 80s. And basically, like if you position yourself in a good position and on the leaderboard, you will receive experience in point. Avagotchi is actually ongoing the final round of the season 0. So we've done the first 3 rounds; they're completed, and right now we're on the round number 4. So once that is done, that's when Avagotchi will enter the next phase, which means like new sales, new lotteries. Like there is quite a lot that is going to happen for the next like 3-4 months of in that ecosystem. Blancos has launched, as Jordan mentioned, like before we start recording. Blancos has launched their beta marketplace, so now you can actually like finally start buying and selling the Blancos if you were into that things. There is on the 9th, I think it is, or on the 7th, no, the 9th of June, if I'm not mistaken, they have like a very limited edition Blancos that will be launched, that has only 400 availables in total. Traditionally, Blancos will go like for, you know, 2, 3, even 4,000 in terms of like numbers that are available, while in this specific case, the one that comes next week, or more than next week, actually, like tomorrow, will be only 400. So it's pretty rare.
But they are 450 bucks. No, 150 bucks, 160 bucks. Whereas normally before they were only like
20, 30.
Huh?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
20 or 30 basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is the new beta marketplace here. Alpha access. Oh, look, one for $12,000 already.
yeah, but it's by 4. Is there like obviously the historical? I don't think that people are actually buying, to be honest. I think that everybody that has the Blancos already have them. They already bought that. I don't think that there is like a lot of demand. I might be wrong on this, but I would really surprised if there is demand right now. I don't see that being there yet. What else we got? We got like an enormous growth, if anybody's interested in that, on Colonize Mars, which is a game on the Wax blockchain. And they had a pre-sale many months ago, because we did like a couple of giveaways on Twitch as well on that. And the value of their like crates, of their NFTs and so on, I've done a 4x now. Basically, like in the past week, they've like completely skyrocketed. So that's very good, because like that's one of the many things that we've always been saying. Like, you know, on this specific thing, when on play to earn, when you select projects that have legs, then it becomes a matter of just like sit down, relax, and chill. Don't look at what it's doing on the daily. Just give it time for like a couple of months, and then you will see the results and so on. The other thing is like on NBA Top Shot. NBA Top Shot is doing like some playoff sales. So they're more expensive, but these are like the ones for the playoff, because like NBA is like ongoing the playoff season right now. So that's very, very good. Another game, it's Light Night, which it's kind of the equivalent of like the Fortnite. And they won the best Bitcoin innovation project at the Miami conference, the one that ended last week or whatever it was. And now I don't really know who were the competitors, to be honest, but we mentioned Light Night multiple times. And basically what they're doing is that they're bringing the NFT experience on the Lightning Network. So they're actually, like, from an R&D point of view, it's pretty fascinating. And by playing the game, you win like Satoshis, you win NFTs. There is the marketplace. You can buy and sell these NFTs and so on. And they actually mentioned that they're going to launch squad gameplays in the near future. So if you have like your team of 5 players, you can play against another team of 5 players, which is basically the same that you got like in many of these mobile games right now, like Call of Duty Mobile and so on. The game is only for Windows, by the way. It's not like available on mobile or anything.
That's
like
fascinating. It's on the Lightning Network. That's that's a first, isn't it, in play to earn?
I think it's actually the only one that I'm aware that is on the Lightning Network. I don't know if it's the first one or not. I don't know if it's the only one, but it's the only one that I'm aware of. So this is where like my ignorance kicks in, because I'm not aware of anything else. The last thing, it's another like game that we've been reviewing many times, which is Lost Relic. And Lost Relic, after the Easter event, has really went down, because obviously like the NFTs are not there. The collaboration, the integration with JumpNet, which is like the side chain of Engine, didn't really happen. Like all of these things, there was like a little bit of a downfall on the numbers of like active daily users, like a solid 80% actually reduction since the Easter event. But they're doing like a gigantic, enormous update this week. So from next week, there is going to be like the new update in place. And that in theory should bring back the play to earn mechanics that everybody loved into Lost Relic. So that's another thing to keep an eye on.
Very good. Thank you for the play to earn update. So anyone that's not aware, we've got a large community growing by the day in there. There's a link to our Discord below. Jump in and have a chat with us there if you're interested in gaming.
There's another one here.
Yep.
There's Revelmon, which was a pre-sale that I participated in a couple months back. They've just introduced their yield farming. That'll be available tomorrow, which is kind of cool for anybody that's, you know, into the VR Pokemon thing and has any Revamon that's, you know, bleeding out like everything else. Now you can yield farm it, stake it up. So that's and then they're also doing a bunch of like mystery cards that they're distributing to people, airdrops. Yep. So what they're doing is they're trying to, you know, increase holdership and get people holding while they develop the game. So there's a couple new mechanics there. They've got some contests coming up for content and some other stuff with promotional and staking.
Yeah, very good. I mean, look, we covered it on a couple of videos last week that, you know, there is a big difference between price and value. You know, you've got to look where there is value, and there clearly is in the play to earn space. We're seeing the network effect. You know, we've been involved in it for a long time now. The numbers are growing. There is value being built into those networks. So look, don't panic, people. If you are, if you have found yourselves sitting in multiple coins, you probably learnt some hard lessons with some of them. But, you know, I hope the show is helping you understand where to go and really assess projects and, you know, where to invest. You know, don't be a gambler. Be an investor. Get in there and use these great new innovations that are taking off very, very quickly at the moment. Now, one other thing that I did forget to mention, we've got Apple having its developer conference today, and I'm sure most of you are aware that there's been some ads floating around on the Apple website looking for people that understand the blockchain and crypto space, specifically around payments. Something I also mentioned at the top of the show, that's the other, all these edge networks are coming into play now. They're going to make it a lot easier to use crypto. So, that's actually a space I'm looking at. As I say, I've taken a little position in AMP token because of that. So, let's see if Apple come to the table here, it's just going to open this market up even more. We've obviously got the PayPals, et cetera, in there at the moment. So, just the reach from the existing infrastructure plays, you're looking at close to 1 billion people that have access to this market now. So this space is growing fast. I think it's super exciting. So don't get caught up in the drama around price at the moment. Things are moving really fast here, people. Exciting times. It's not just about El Salvador's colon. There's many, many great things happening, aren't there, boys?
Colon is not even listed as the official currency, Sean.
Isn't it?
No, I just looked it up there, and the US dollar is listed as the official currency. So that would explain the connection a little bit better too, right? Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else to share with the audience before we wrap it up today? Any thoughts for people? I think we've summarized that there's much more than hope going on here. There's building on the daily. The space is growing fast. But yes, Stefano, any sort of parting thoughts for the audience?
Yes, if you feel that things are not going good, you are in the wrong side of the space. You're clearly missing things. You are not looking in the right direction, which means that it is time for you to take a look in the mirror and realize that you're not doing things in the right way.
Oh, look, 100%. Look, we've all made mistakes, haven't we? I mean, I made those sort of mistakes in 2016, just having 1,000 freaking coins that I didn't understand. This time around, it's been a very, very different scenario for me. So yeah, you're right. Learn from your mistakes.
Everywhere you're looking, like there is like good news happening right now. I really do not understand how people are not in a good mood in the market. The sandbox, like let's for some more stats, shall we? The sandbox just sells the biggest Excel parcel of their entire history on the sandbox. They crashed one of their internal thing. The crypto voxel that we have reviewed like in the past that I bought in, they're now like going on an average of like 0.17 ETH each. And when we got the first one, when I got the first one, it was like 0.04. So 4x over there on the ETH value, because they are increasing in demand and in supply. Look at the fees. Just look at the fees that are generating on QuickSwap right now, on QuickSwap, not on Aave, not on Sushi, not on Uniswap. By the way, Uniswap version 2 and Uniswap version 3, that's like another crazy massive fee amounts. Uniswap version 3 has finally passed Uniswap version 2 in terms of like fees that are being generated. So once again, adoption. That's the main thing. QuickSwap fees are absolutely going super high. And look at the market price of Quick Token. If you're into those things.
Fano, you're 100% correct. I mean, you helped me get set up on there a while back, and I've actually done really, really well out of that. So I'm getting fees, staking there or providing liquidity. So this volatility, and okay, while the tokens have lost some value, the interest I'm making off this, the additional token I'm getting with the Quick token, it's more than compensating for me. It's a nice feeling to know I've understood that market. I've put liquidity in there. I'm getting a yield from my assets. So yes, I'm not in there gambling on price on tokens now. That's building these Axie teams, building that community. This is super exciting times at the moment. Really is.
I say that many times, and I'm just like gonna keep repeating myself.
Well, look, it takes time for people to understand this. A lot of the audience are still getting there technically, so give it another year, and hopefully they all.
Well, everybody can keep doing like their wanna BTA bullshit thing. I don't really care. They're all losing money. I'm just laughing at that, to be honest. So
Fair enough. Mr. Gonzo, any final thoughts for the audience?
It's just all about timeframes, right? I mean, you mentioned it in your other video about speculators, gamblers, investors, right? Like this last little bit of a run, I can tell that I'm getting too old for this because I was looking at my gains and I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then, 2 weeks later, it's like, bah, it's in the dump. And it's like, whatever. I know that those extremes are only temporary, but the overall trend is up, right? So, I mean, you just, unless you're in crypto to day trade and to make daily profits, then you should be sweating this shit. But, if you're not, like if you're in here for more than a week or a month or a year, then there's nothing to worry about. You just got to keep finding good projects, things that are being used, things that have communities, things that have use cases.
Yep.
And then just, if you see a crazy day like this or other days where there's like 25, 30% red, those are the days you buy. And you just wait for those days when it's plus 60% and you sell a bit, right? You don't try and play every move, right? So you just buy the reds and sell the greens in moderate amounts. Don't go all in or out, and just keep going, keep on trucking. This is a long-term game. This is not like crypto's not so flash in a pan that's going to go away next year or the next Trump tweet or the next country that adopts it or the next country that bans it. It's the genie's out of the bottle. We're all in here. So just enjoy the ride. Have something take your mind off of it when it dumps and, sell some profits when it's all green.
Yep. And just to repeat what Stefano was saying, that, the most important thing is you've got to be using these products and services, get in there, try DeFi out if you haven't yet, wrap your head around how to move to these layer 2 protocols. We've made a ton of videos. I'll put some links below on all of that if you haven't quite wrapped your head around it. They're easy to follow, hand-holding guides. They're all there. If you haven't checked out the play to earn gaming space, you should. Even if you're just an investor and you have no interest in gaming, go and look at the numbers. Have a look at this exponential growth that's going on. You probably are missing a lot of great opportunities. There's a lot of shows out there that have give you a little high-level appraisal of a million different altcoins, and you're probably stuck in half of those now. So careful what you listen to as well would be my advice. This is your time to take a step back, understand the tech, get in there and use it, people. Get your knowledge up. We're here to help. Any questions, jump into the Discord, talk to us, put some comments below. Thank you all for watching. And thank you, boys, for imparting more knowledge to the audience, as you always do. We'll see you back here with these two guys on Friday for our live show. We've got some Axie teams. I'm getting my wallet set up with Mr. Gonzo today, so I'll have those available Friday. And good luck to you all out there. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.
1 BTC in 32 ETH.